Welcome back to Real Estate Radio Seattle. I am your host, Jeff Mandels, and thank you for sticking with us. Our guest on this half of the show is Katherine Swanberg from REAPS, Real Estate Association of Puget Sound. Katherine, do you think the media is presenting the housing market as it really is? From your perspective, is it true what they're telling us, or is it in some way biased, especially us here in the Northwest? And the reason I ask is because I have an article here from Bloomberg, which I'll get to in a moment, but how do you see it with your investors?
Well, I guess it depends on what part of the news you're referring to.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of, I guess, the thing with media is you could make the news be bad or you can make it be good. It just depends on which data you're going to present.
That's
and
right.
It's way more compelling to make a news story that's bad and the sky is falling than it is to talk about the good news.
You're right.
What you have to do as a real estate investor is look at what the opportunity is, and there's a lot of opportunity in a lot of really positive ways that could impact people in the housing market, but that stuff is not really talked about in the media. Instead, what you hear a lot about in the media is how many homes are being foreclosed on,
yes,
how many loan modifications are not getting approved at the banks, how unsuccessful the home affordable initiatives are to keep people in their homes.
Yes.
And what you don't hear about are the people that negotiate short sales and help people successfully navigate through getting a home sold when they owe more than their home is worth. You don't ever hear people talk about that.
Yes.
And yet that's a very valid way to help consumers right now who need to get out from underneath their mortgages and can't sell their homes for what they owe.
And that's pretty much what a short sale is?
Correct. Yep. A lot of people will are in a position where they tried to sell their home and couldn't find a buyer, and are in a position where maybe their mortgages are more than they can afford. Maybe they've gone through a layoff or a divorce, or something's happened in the past couple of years, like it has to everybody when it comes to this recession, and they need to sell their home, and maybe putting a tenant in there and renting it out is not an option for them. Maybe they need to have lower housing expenses. And so what you'll find is a lot of people have helped people short sale their home and basically negotiate with the bank on behalf of the seller to get the bank to accept less than what's owed, because ultimately that's a win-win. It helps the consumer get out from underneath the debt and avoid a foreclosure, and it helps the bank to not have another property on their books.
Yeah.
But your average consumer who needs to sell their home, they don't understand how to navigate through those waters.
No, they don't. And you're right. It's the bad news that makes news, because we don't hear about all the people that are helped by legitimate people, but we do hear about the people that have been conned and their money has been taken and they've never hear from people again. And I think in a crisis, there will always be people that will prey upon the vulnerable. But at the same time, with research, I think there are also good people out there helping the consumer, helping the people that are having a tough time right now. They can't make their payments. They're falling behind legitimately. What do we do? Where do we go? How do we attack this? And there are groups out there. Your group, I've been to many of your, we'll call them seminars or classes, and they're really cool. How can people reach REAPS? Because your meetings are really, really worth attending. How can people reach you so that they can find out where the next meetings are around the Sound?
Sure. The best way to find us is online, REAPSWeb, REAPSWEB.com, or they can just call our office, which is 425-478-4979. I think I said that right. But online is probably the best way. You can see our calendar of events. You can learn about, becoming a member. Or if you just want to come to a meeting as a guest and you want to mention this show, we'll just let you in for free and you can come check out a meeting.
Oh, that's cool. Thank you. And to show the kind of group you are spearheading, how did you come to be the president of REAPS?
I was originating loans for a living about 6 years ago, and my niche has always been really a desire to work with the real estate investment community, because I've been investing in real estate for about 11 years, and I understand that part of the transaction. And a lot of loan originators who do mortgages and don't invest in real estate, they might look at a transaction differently. So I was looking for a real estate investment community to be a part of, and I attended a meeting, and I sat down and I thought, boy, this is an awesome group. And I'm one of those people that if I want to get to know people and I really want to nest in a group, I'm just going to volunteer, because you could pay your dues and be a member, or you could pay your dues and volunteer, and you have two completely different experiences. So I'm a huge proponent of volunteering any chance I can get, because I've met way more people and really established great relationships with some of our members. So I started volunteering and helping out about 6 years ago, and then got an offer to be on our board. And that led into being nominated to be the vice president. And then about 2.5 years ago, I became the president. So I'm on my second term as the president.
And how long is the term?
2 years.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah, wow. I love it.
Went from attending to volunteering to vice president to president.
Yep.
That's one. It sounds like a lot of politicians do, right? Nice going.
Well, the caveat is that we're all volunteers.
That's right.
And so, finding people that want to come to work for free,
right?
And that's a little harder. And a successful real estate investor who's actually doing their job and investing in real estate full time, it's hard to find people that want to be good leaders and help to grow our organization that have the kind of time too. So, the problem with a lot of volunteering is if you speak up and volunteer and say, I'll help, they go, really? Well, how much are you going to help with? Because I'll just keep putting it on your plate till you say no.
Absolutely.
So,
you know what? Here's a quick article I came across the other day. We were talking that bad news makes a news. It's true. This is from Bloomberg. This is from Vanessa Wong at Bloomberg Business Week. And the title of it is Housing Markets That Will Be Strongest by 2014. Number 1, Washington. The area, Bremerton, Silverdale Metro. Part of number 1 is Tacoma. Washington's second strongest market is Tacoma, with a growth rate expected to be 33.1% by the year 2014. Then Oregon is number 2. But Bloomberg is predicting that we here in this part of the country, the little northwest, Washington, Bremerton, Tacoma, will be the areas that will have the strongest gains over the next 4 years. That's cool.
That's way cool.
It really is. Wow.
That's exciting. We have a satellite group, REAPS does, that meets in Poulsbo.
I was going to ask you that. Okay, so it's not just Seattle or the east side.
Correct. REAPS, our headquarters is in Bellevue. Our main meeting's in Kirkland at Lake Washington Technical College. But we have 4 other satellite groups. We created satellite meetings about 4 years ago because our members really wanted focused networking, and they wanted to build a community in the area that they live. And we have members all over the state, and it wasn't realistic for us to have a large meeting all over the state. So we have satellite meetings in Fife, actually, at City University. And we have a monthly meeting in Poulsbo at the library. And that services all of Kitsap, the Kitsap area. We have a meeting up in Everett at the Firefighters Hall, and then Mercer Island.
Wow. How many members are there?
We have about 700 members right now.
So the meetings are usually well attended.
They are. Our average attendance this year has been about 200 people at our main meeting. And then our satellite meetings usually draw between 40 and 50 people.
And the next meeting that's coming up, when is it and what is the topic?
We meet on the 4th Thursday of every month, and our meeting this month is August 26th. And we are doing a panel. And what we've done is we've brought in members that have a specialty in some kind of financing, whether it's financing real estate using a self-directed IRA or raising private money, seller financing, hard money, or even just traditional bank loans.
Yes.
And we've got an expert panel set up to basically help our members understand where is the money today, how do you apply for it, how do you qualify. If you want to build a business where you're raising private money or finding seller financing, what's the correct way to do so? How do you protect yourself on both sides of the equation, whether you're the one lending the money or you're the one borrowing?
Wow.
So it's just a member panel, and it's going to be question and answer. What we usually do is I'll hand out note cards, 3x5s, to every person in the room and pencils. And then we will have people write down their questions, and then I have people on the aisles that collect all the questions and then pre-screen them, because we want to make sure that in the hour and a half that we have our panel, that we're asking the questions that are going to be that serve the most people in the room, right?
Right. So it's information, and more information.
Yep.
So
absolutely.
that your members and anyone in attendance can take it and make hopefully informed, sound decisions about buying real estate or passing on it or investing or not investing. And
Yep.
Nice. Bring the information to the people and let them decide.
Yep, we're doing that this month because I am working with DFI to have a speaker from DFI come in October. That's basically to help our membership understand what's the correct way to structure seller financing and private money. If you're going to lend money to somebody to invest in real estate, and if you're going to borrow it, what's the proper way to disclose, to record, to protect your interest? And there's been a lot of people in the past couple of years that haven't done their due diligence and didn't quite understand how to lend or borrow money correctly. And so our goal this month is to help people understand, okay, here are the different facets and the different ways you can generate money to fund your deals. And then we'll follow up in October with somebody from DFI so that our members know exactly how to structure deals correctly. And
please tell us once again how people can get in contact or find out about REAPS.
Online, www.reapsweb, that's REAPSWEB.com.
Thank you. We do need to wrap it up. I'm sorry. Time always goes so quickly when people are here with interesting facts and information such as you. Thank you. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.
And this is Jeff Mandels for KGNW Real Estate Radio Seattle on 820 AM. I'd like to leave you with a quote for the week. I am as bad as the worst, but thank God I am as good as the best. Walt Whitman, poet. For Real Estate Radio Seattle, this is Jeff Mandels on KGNW 820 AM. And until we catch up with each other next Saturday at 4, please remember to stay well, stay tuned, and thank you.